All right. I think the squid in the chat is a sign that we are ready to go.
It's Squidtober.
I have not yet turned on the official podcast screen because I almost don't want to spoil the reveal. We have a special guest.
It'll be a good one.
All right, here we go. Three,
Rock on.
2, 1. Who is that handsome gentleman?
Happy banana holiday. Howdy, folks. Banana here. I guess that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah. Oh, my
Yeah.
little bro Nana.
That's right, bro, Nana.
I feel really left out. I didn't get the memo. I'm not wearing a banana costume, and
That's
now
all right.
I'm disappointed.
This was the first costume I ever wore on camera was the banana costume.
That's right. That is some nostalgia, actually.
Yeah, and it was Sandra's first appearance on the channel. She was dressed as a gorilla.
Yeah, that. Wow, I guess that was about a year ago, right? That you started doing characters?
It was about a year.
You've got a year in of characters?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long, embarrassing year.
Yeah, but a lot of fun, right? Like, that's the important thing.
It has been. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And people have enjoyed it, so, I'll keep doing it.
I gotta say, I like the banana, but I don't know if I want him on my side if things go down. I feel like he might be a bit yellow-bellied.
No, he might be a bit yellow-bellied. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, we did. I'm doing a callback.
Yeah. Yellow-belly turns out not a racist term.
Mm-mm.
The good news about the banana guy is that he'll help you out of a tough situation by appealing to your better senses.
he is also great while not in a fight for getaways because he can help give you the slip.
Oh, that's true. He can. Or you could just like take it and just shove it right up the other guy's. Howdy, folks.
Oh, if somebody's watching this on mobile, right? Their phone may or may not go in and out of their pocket, and that would in fact mean there is a banana in their pocket.
Oh, and I bet they're happy to hear us.
I mean, I hope so.
So I went to that concert last night for Sandra's birthday.
That's right. How did it go?
So we went and saw Chelsea Wolfe, and she was great. But the opening act was a guy on a computer and another person screaming for 45 minutes. And I realized that I am getting old.
See, what's so funny? Because like the last time that I went to a concert, I went to see Lindsey Sterling. And I love Lindsey Sterling, but they had a couple of openers. One of the ones I actually recognized, but the people that I had went with, there was some other people, and they were having that like same experience, right? Like they were just like, I just feel like I'm getting old, and I had a blast. So apparently I am still juvenile enough to enjoy it.
Right on. It was interesting. It's the first time I've ever been to a concert, and I think the only time I've ever been to a concert not on drugs. I haven't done the concert thing since I got out, since I got clean, and it was definitely a different experience. I actually felt a little bit like it was my first concert, like a little kind of like out of my element. Plus, I mean, it's Denver, right? So like the minute the lights went off, like the pot smoke went up, and like everybody was high. It was interesting. I had a really good time. Sandra had a good time, but it was adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm just glad that you had a good time. I'm glad that she, is finally 21 years old. And
get out of here, dude.
I'm just doing what you're supposed to do.
Right. I just got a Twitch drop. So,
well,
thank you guys for joining us. I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Oh. Yeah, if only it was, that easy, right? You just do the podcast till you get a Twitch drop, and then you're out.
Yeah. If you look at my history of Twitch drops, I have one today. I have one on the 22nd. I have one on the 6th, one on the 29th, one on the 22nd. Like it's just when I'm here.
Yeah, mine is not very often either, but that's because I don't like go out of my way to farm them.
Right.
You know, like they're an added bonus, but I don't feel the
Yeah.
pressure or the need. I think that one, I feel like the system is generous enough as is. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
legitimately, it was one of the things that attracted me to the game. I remember playing in beta long
Yeah.
before there was like even people on Twitch, let alone Twitch drops. And I just remember
Right.
thinking like, wow, I'm getting a lot of cards, and I really
Yeah.
like this. And so I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm the old man generation of Legends, but like I just don't feel the
Right.
pressure to do it because it's fine.
No, I tend to feel the same way, man. Like, um, I have enough soul gems and gold saved up that like if we got a full like Heroes of Skyrim sized expansion, say in the next week or two, like I could just craft all the cards.
Yeah.
And I don't farm Twitch drops. I have admittedly played hundreds of hours more of Legends than most people probably, but yeah, the game is so generous. It's amazing.
So speaking of the game and
Yeah.
things like Heroes of Skyrim, did you
Right.
happen to see
Hmm.
the 6 seconds of awesome that was the teaser?
I did. I did see the teaser. That was pretty cool. That was pretty exciting. I I'm pretty hyped. I mean, I like the mechanical mystery, the Dwemer aspect, and the other the other. There's another character who creates Dwemer like automatons. I like that part of the lore of Legends quite a bit.
Yeah, so that's like the big speculation that I've been seeing this week from the teaser is,
Hmm.
some people immediately thought like, oh, okay, it's robots.
Yeah.
So it must be, God, Dwemer. I never say it right. That's why I always say robots. But now I have
Right.
now that I have two potential factions of robots, so I can't just say that.
Right. Right.
You have apparently this Clockwork City thing
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
Morrowind, and
Right.
it's my understanding it was also prominently featured recently in Elder Scrolls Online as part of
Right.
that Morrowind thing, and so people are saying that it could be related to that, which is also exciting.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. The very first memory I have of any of the Elder Scrolls games is playing Morrowind and finding my way into a Dwemer robot type ruin type thing, and dying repeatedly for hours before deciding that I was actually clinically insane.
yeah, Morrowind. It's so funny. Like I only played a little bit of Morrowind,
Hmm.
but I played far enough to kill one of the like quest givers. Like that was one of those
Oh
games where
yeah.
like you could
Right.
hose
Right.
yourself, and I
Yeah. Yeah.
did. And honestly, like I feel bad, but that was why I never went back and visited it because I knew that I was gonna have to start from like
Yeah.
hours and hours before because I didn't like leave a proper save trail to undo my
Right.
dirty deed.
Of course.
Um, so I was like I kept meaning to get back to it, but then I never did. And looking back, I
Yeah.
kind of feel bad. But
Well, to be honest with you, I think I have 300 hours logged in Skyrim. I've never beaten any of those main quests either. Like I just hop in the game, I start collecting flowers from alchemy, and then I dick around, and I don't know. I lose track of time. But I've never completed that game either. I never
I mean,
completed any. Actually, I take that back. I have beaten Oblivion. I have beaten Oblivion, saved the Septon kid or whatever. I've done that, but never beaten Morrowind to Skyrim.
yeah, I will say this about like Bethesda open world games in general. They are the most fun not playing the game I've ever had, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Like
No,
they just give
absolutely.
you like that true, with the exception of like maybe some Rockstar stuff with like Grand Theft Auto, though those ones don't capture me as much, but I have a
Right.
similar feel. Like you just feel like you are in like a living, breathing world, and so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think they're just great games. I'm a huge fan of all of them. I mean, I don't even really like sci-fi games, but I played Fallout 4 just because I wanted another fix of that world, that world building type thing.
Yeah, I actually have not picked up Fallout 4 yet. Even many years later, I watched a lot of it on streams,
Oh yeah.
but at the time, it wasn't like I wasn't in a good spot in my schedule where I felt good picking up a game of that size and scope. So I was living vicariously through a lot of the other content creators that I enjoy.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
I had
feel like
fun.
I played it.
I never really played through the story. Sandra and I spent 30 hours maybe building settlements. And I know there is a story, but I'm not really concerned with it.
Yeah, that's legit. So, we didn't get much from the teaser, right?
Right.
We know that something's coming, and we kind of knew that ahead of time because Bethesda has already said that we're going to get an announcement before the end of the month.
Right.
Pete Hines was kind enough a couple of weeks ago to hang out in our chat and
Yes.
mention something about November. He didn't say anything more than that in our chat, unfortunately, but
Right.
we kind of knew something was coming. I think the teaser confirms it.
Yes.
And the end of the month is Tuesday of next week, so I would, if I were a betting man, I would say either Monday or Tuesday next week we'll probably get more info. But
I think that's a very safe bet.
yeah. So my question to you is, as we go down the speculation train, what
Absolutely.
kind of content do you think it'll be? Like large scale story, madhouse size, something new, perhaps?
So I've been thinking about this a lot. I think the most likely scenario is that we get something Fall of the Dark Brotherhood sized. I don't know that we're going to get as in depth of a campaign as we got with Fall of the Dark Brotherhood, but I would guess we're looking at, less than 100 cards, more than 15, more than 20.
Sure. I believe Fall of the Dark Brotherhood was what, like 30 or 40 in that range, if I remember correctly. I don't remember I could Google it obviously right now, but I feel like it was in that range, and that's probably what I was thinking. I hope, so my personal suspicion is that it's going to be like another story adventure, but my personal hope is that it's just a hair bigger, because I really enjoyed Fall of the Dark Brotherhood, and I almost wished like there was just a little bit more of it. So I'm secretly hoping for something around like 50 cards story mode and just like a hair bigger.
I'd love to see 50 new cards. I'd love to see it. I think that with 50 cards, you have the opportunity to give every demographic of player, every psychographic of player, a little something, and hopefully introduce some new decks into the meta. I mean, I've got high expectations. I'm not gonna lie. Like, one of the recurring themes on the podcast is, what happened with the release of Heroes of Skyrim that seems to have sort of not sapped the fun out of the game, but made it more polarizing, the matchups, stuff like that. I'd like to see some of that. I'd like to see a fun rebirth, I guess, would be a good way to put it. And I believe that it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I would say that it's possible for sure. I also hope for that. So, we got like the robot teaser, so there's a lot of speculation that it will be robot themed. Right. What do you think about, so this is an interesting thought. What do you think about a set that would either potentially be like heavy neutral cards or heavy class cards? Because I was thinking about that both ways, right? Like neutral cards has the potential to be kind of cool, but my concern would be that because every class could play those neutral cards, if they were that good, then you would not see a lot of deck diversity.
Right. I agree.
And then with the class
I think
cards,
that an all neutral expansion would be not fun. I think that you could include a whole bunch of Dwemer, because those aren't cards that you say, oh, this is the best 3-drop, I'm putting it in every deck. That's a card that you say, this is a great choice for my Dwemer deck. Sure. Right? Because in some ways Dwemer is like the 11th class, because like you have to run a certain critical mass of Dwemer in order to be effective with them. So I don't mind more Dwemer. With maybe a Dwemer or two that are constructed playable outside of the Dwemer deck. But I think that your class idea, all class card idea, I think that's much more interesting, and I'd like to see something along those lines at some point, honestly.
Yeah, so I want to preface it and say I don't necessarily mean all neutral or all class, but just like heavy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of like core set, class cards, basically you got like your neat, your epic, I think. Yeah. We got a couple of monthly reward cards. Skyrim, we got our cycle of actions, but the class cards in general have been like the cherry on top,
Yeah.
or the sprinkle. And so I was trying to envision what a set that had heavy class cards would look like. And I see pros and cons. Like, on the one hand, you could really drive home the idea of the identity of a class. But
Absolutely.
then my concern would be if there are certain, let's call them winners and losers,
Right.
there, then you also have the same net effect of the neutral side of things, where you would drive down deck diversity because like people are just going to play the 2 or 3 because nothing
Yeah.
else would match up. So
I can see. It looks like we have a special guest in chat. We got Solid Age from Bethesda. Welcome.
yes, hello AJ, welcome. AJ asks, did he miss anything fun? We were just talking about the robot teaser and doing some minor speculation. So that actually leads me to my next question, which is, we got the robot teaser. So do you think it's going to be like all robots, or do you think that there might be obviously other races that make an appearance?
What an interesting idea. What an interesting idea. I think that we're probably going to get some cards that are not just robots.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get, I think that obviously we're going to get Banana Legendary. Okay.
I think that's legit.
Red Banana Brahmin. And, but I think that we might get something more than that too.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, well, I think that if we're going to get any race in particular, I think we might get an Argonian.
Well, I think let's take a look here. If we were gonna see some Argonians, I would imagine they would probably look something like this.
I imagine they might. What? Wherever did you find this?
I mean, I can't really reveal my sources. Cough,
Okay.
AJ.
Okay.
But yeah, this is exclusive art from future content.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of content yet. We have no names. We have no types.
That
But it's
part's true.
definitely legit art that we will see in the future.
I like it.
All we know is that it's a known character. We do not know, how this card is being applied. So even though I was told it's a known character, we don't know if it is their actual card or if this represents an action of some type. It's an interesting piece because when you look at it, it's definitely not Red Brahmin, at least when you compare it to the other Red Brahmin art.
Right.
The horns don't match. This gentleman is a ripped Argonian who is shirtless. He's very swarthy and piratey.
Right.
It looks like there's some ships in the background.
I like it.
That's
a big sword too.
Yeah, so I guess I should also say, if you are listening to the audio of this, if you're not watching this live, I am, as of right now, tweeting out the art as well, and I'm going to post it to Reddit. So,
yeah.
If you want to see the art that we are talking about, and it's magnificent. Like all the time when I talk about art in this game, I really love the art style of this game.
Absolutely.
I'm a big fan.
There is no game on the market that compares to Elder Scrolls Legends when it comes to the quality of art. Like, not even close.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly some other card games that might have flashier effects, I'll say, but when it just comes to like the actual art, I'm big fan of the Legends stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, in this piece in particular, like, I think that the core set had some amazing art. I think that Madhouse had some great art, but I think that with Fall of the Dark Brotherhood and with Skyrim, they stepped it up another notch. Like, it's amazing.
So, if it's not Red Brahmin, do you have any ideas for who this could be?
To be honest with you, I didn't have an idea until you came up with an idea, so I think you should share who you think it is, because to be honest with you, I just went with Red Brahmin because I'm a huge Red Brahmin fanboy, and I think that, Blue Brahmin might be it. I also like the suggestion that it is Swims at Soul Terrace, by the way. That one made me laugh.
Yeah. so I made a passing comment that I would like it to be cashew. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but there is an Argonian that's very often referenced in lore, um, that is also in some printed material as well that I think would be pretty cool to see make an appearance. But
Yeah.
that was even still like me, in all honesty, like grasping at straws, because the truth is like the whole like pirate ship, and he's very clearly like a nautical based Argonian here. Like that's what keeps
Hmm.
throwing me a
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, that's action shot. Like I'm looking at the high res. I think I'm using that word right. Version of this photo right now, and this is just an incredible piece of art, man. Like
Yeah,
you can zoom in and the details on the scales and the teeth, his eyes, like you can tell he's shielding himself from the rain. This is an amazing work of art.
yeah. If you're looking at like a scaled down version, at some point open up the full sized art and like look at it. It is very very well done. But the art in this game always is.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
But
this is amazing. So why don't we? How do you spell that? Keshnu,
it's cashew,
like the nut.
like Keshu.
Keshu. Let's get some lore on this guy.
There's
All right.
quite a bit.
Keshu the Black Fin. Uh, he's a character mentioned in Elder Scrolls Online. It's from what I'm reading so far. Personal aid to Keshu the Black Fin. What do you got for us? What do you know about this guy?
I mean, it's kind of a novel. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's link for the chat
Hmm.
the like Imperial Library info that I had sent over.
Hmm.
Like the short version is, um, he's like a war hero. Um, I mean, he traveled all over the place, right? Like he was traveling from village to village,
Yeah.
um, making his way to Stormhold,
Hmm.
and I it's kind of hard to cover. Like when I say he
I,
was in,
I just read
um,
that he drinks too much.
yes, no, there's that. Um,
Keshu the Alcoholic Argonian.
like I'm trying to
Pickled lizard.
like legitimately the thing I just linked right is split up even
Yeah.
into three sections. Like he's got a lot of lore. He's a
Wow.
very well known person. So like I said, I'm just grasping at
This is cool.
straws.
All right, so what
Um,
does this hint at? Like what? Like let's say that this is Keshu. Let's just go off the deep end of speculation here. Yeah, Shwitty remarks that it's Kesha the Argonian.
Kesha,
Um,
you
yeah,
forgot that dollar sign, Schwitty.
right. I mean, Keshu wakes up with a bottle of grog, brushes her teeth with it. So
Yeah.
I can see the relation. They're probably just like siblings.
That might not even be outlandish. Like Argonians probably do brush their teeth with something alcohol based.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, just like Khajiit clearly do it with skooma.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I used to do it with skooma
Is
actually.
Keshu a she? I thought Keshu was a dude.
Is it a she?
Well, that would
Oh yeah.
that would negate it.
Yeah. That's it. It's Kesha.
Oh yeah, no, it's her. Yeah. Wow. All
Wow.
right. Well,
You know, it's tough
not.
to tell because there's no breasts.
Yeah, there's no. Oh,
Yeah.
but I mean, this is a shirtless Argonian. I don't think they would give us the lusty Argonian maid shirtless. So I guess it's clearly not that.
I think this confirms that Lusty Argonian Maid is going to be the theme of our next expansion.
Well, then clearly this is Godzuki, son of Godzilla.
Oh, it is Godzuki. Oh my god, you're right. Sandra's a big Godzuki fan. I know this because I didn't know who Godzuki was until Sandra showed me pictures.
Legitimately, I just want you to know, I have never thought in my life I would hear somebody utter the words
Yeah.
blank is a huge Godzuki fan.
Oh
Like
yeah.
ever.
Yeah. Well, look, it takes all kinds, man. Plus, you have to be the kind of person who sees Godzuki and sees like a lovable creature, like somebody worthy of your attention, if you're going to be the kind of person who marries me.
Shunara asks if we just assumed her gender. First of all, yes. And second of all, we get a pass though because it's a little bit tough with Argonians.
Right.
They all have a cloaca, right? So it's not
Can we
something that
say
you
that
can
word
just
on a
eyeball.
podcast? Can
I
we
mean,
say cloaca?
we just did.
Oh crap, man! The FCC is coming for us.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, I'm just genuinely excited that we're officially hitting teaser season, you know?
This is a
And
great time. Yeah.
you know, we know that we're going to get an announcement before the end of the month, like Bethesda said.
Yeah.
So you know, it's interesting. This could be the character, but there is also the possibility that this just represents like something that the character could be doing. So it could be like an action card, right?
Absolutely.
Um, you know, it could be. Are they moving? Is this like a movement card?
That's a good question. Yeah. Let's say, I mean, because Argonians are so tightly wound up in the Scout class in Legends. Let's say that it's a movement card, a Scout dual class movement card. What do you see that? What do you see the endurance effect of that movement card doing?
That's fair. So
I'm putting you on the spot.
no, I mean that's fair, right? Like, let's just use Red Brahmin as an example. Red Brahmin is a
Yeah.
a Scout class card. Excuse me, I said
Yeah.
clout as a Freudian slip because the dude has clout.
He does. He also automatically shows up when you have anything cool going on in the Shadowlane.
Yeah, but like he takes the silence from endurance and then the shackle effects from agility,
Right.
and combines the two pretty well. So if we were gonna see
Mhm.
something that was both like movement and endurance,
Right.
um, endurance is known for big stats. Endurance is known for lethal in some instances.
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to give an Argonian ward.
Hmm.
It could be. I mean, regen would feel kind of lackluster. I'd want it to be something like worthy of moving. That was the only reason I was thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe something to do with lethal.
What about like a 2-cost action? Move a creature. It gets +0/+4.
I could see that. However, what's interesting to me is like this looks like he's moving, but not in any sort of defensive way, right? Like this is
That's true.
either
That's true.
like he is coming to board your ship, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
If
yeah.
he's like a swarthy pirate. It's
Mhm.
funny, if he were a Khajiit, I would think this would be like a movement pilfer oriented card because he looks like he's coming to steal my stuff.
Yeah.
I know, I shouldn't assume that about any particular race,
Man,
but
first we're stereotyping or we're presuming it's gender. Now we are racially profiling.
yeah, the Argonian.
Should I just meet you at the Falmore embassy? I mean,
You know, I did just yesterday build a wall, so
oh no. Why, man? Why?
because that's how Jarl wins games, and I did it on stream yesterday. It was very satisfying.
That's fair. That's fair. You
Um,
know, I gotta say, dude, that reminds me of the Vice interview I just watched with Pete Hines. Like,
oh
I mean, like, I was so moved by him saying "fuck Nazis" that I had to send him a message on Twitter saying that was awesome. I had to. I had no choice about it. It felt good.
yeah, I mean, who would have ever thought that that would ever be a stance that you like have to
I know, man.
take?
We're partying like it's 1939. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
like
I was just
if
thinking
it's a
about that.
movement based so here's wild speculation. What if it's a
Yeah.
movement based card but then has a different effect that's new to endurance
Hmm.
because we might get something new.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like, small in a smaller set, I think you could do something like focusing on like one or two new ability words. I know we talked about the distinction between keywords and ability words recently.
Well, I
I
was
think that this could highlight some new mechanic.
yeah, I mean in many ways Follow the Dark Brotherhood almost did that. Because one of the things that is also in the Scout class, and this actually could fit the card, is Slay. So Slay
Yeah,
existed before, but they actually
right,
codified it and emphasized it in Follow the Dark
right.
Brotherhood. So that could be the case. The other thing I would say is, what if we're thinking about this the wrong way? Just
Hmm.
because Argonians are traditionally in Scout, we
Hmm.
know that there are races
Yeah.
that you know, have spilled over as of
Hmm.
late. What if
Yes.
this, because Corsair ship is an intelligence card, what if this
Right.
is a like battle mage Argonian or
I
a
like it.
sorcerer Argonian or
I like it.
something?
I think we are due for a new unique legendary with prophecy. We've only got one. I mean, you mentioned Battle Mage. I'm not gonna lie, man. I went right to Prophecy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've
I
been
know.
seriously traumatized.
I know that's my fault.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm not gonna, don't take it personally, but I totally blame you and you alone.
I mean, him swinging into action would be pretty reflective of prophecy, right? You know,
Yeah, that's
just
true.
popping right in, doing his thing.
I do like it.
You know, he's got two swords if you look at that piece of art there, so it could be
Yeah.
something item based. An item wielding Argonian could be fun.
You know, you'd have to cost it in a way that's not degenerate because, like, there's not a lot of interaction during the opponent's turn. But I've always been a fan of the Viashino mechanic from Magic, where, like, they're
Oh.
creatures with haste and or charge in Legends language, and then at the end of your turn, you return them to your hand. You know, you could water down a bit by saying, "Hey, at the beginning of your turn, return this to your hand," so that your opponent has an opportunity to maybe react to it. But that's something that I could see, you know, flashy Argonian swords guy pulling out in Battle Mage, for instance.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting mechanic, and I could even see it still returning at the end of your turn as long as it was costed appropriately, right? Like
Right.
if you're talking about like a 3 cost 1/3 with charge that returns to your hand at the end of your turn, or a one
Sure.
two with charge, like it's gotta
Absolutely.
have a low attack and a small enough body that if they're using it for trading or controlling the board, that it would have to
Hmm.
sacrifice itself. But if you're using it to just like combo damage through, like that would
Right.
be an interesting card.
I agree. Yeah, I think that that would be really cool. And I think that the more I think about it, actually, the more I'm just coming up with tons of cards that would use a mechanic like that. And that's the great thing about Legends, right? Is like they've done a great job walking the line where you exploit a lot of the opportunities that certain mechanics give you while still leaving a whole bunch untouched, but never so little or so much that you feel overwhelmed, or so little that you feel like this mechanic hasn't really had an opportunity to shine. I think the closest they've come to like a not a failure, but the least successful of these of their mechanics is Pilfer. You know, I think we've talked about before, sort of some of the problems with Pilfer as it currently stands. But just this idea of like creatures that return to your own hand after you play them, I'm just coming up with tons of new ideas. Like I love how open Legend still is as far as design space.
I'd also just like to highlight that it's really, really good. It's a good feeling to just be excited and not know. Like that's my favorite
Absolutely.
thing about teaser
Yeah.
season and spoiler season and all of that is like your mind
Yeah.
goes wild with possibilities. You know,
Right.
there's speculation, and then as the cards start getting revealed, you get excited and you start building decks. You know,
Absolutely, man.
with the known and with the unknown, and
Hmm.
man, it feels good to be talking. You
It
know,
really does. It really does. And this is, I mean, kudos to Bethesda too. This is the first time they've done like a preview like this, right? Where here's some art, you know, start teasing.
yeah, you know, it's actually kind of interesting because for Heroes of Skyrim, when they gave me my reveal,
Yeah.
I did that just like on my own. If you
Right.
remember correctly, I had
I
Wildfire
do.
Dragon,
Hmm.
and I wrote like a journal style entry, and I posted just the art and the story on my website to let it like
Hmm.
marinate for a day, and then I did the
Hmm.
card reveal video the following day, and I actually had a ton of fun doing that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I enjoyed reading that too, and I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing what kind of stuff you come up in the future creatively. I know you mentioned some stuff off camera that you're working on.
yeah, yeah, not related to the new expansion, guys. Don't let your heads go too wild. I was trying to get Justin's blessing for something that I might want to do for a video in the
Or
future.
is it related to the new expansion?
I mean, it's not, but
I mean,
I will
yeah, I
say
mean,
this though.
yeah,
I can guarantee. So they said by the end of the month, I can guarantee that next week's podcast will be as fun as this one
oh yeah.
because we'll
I'm,
have some stuff to talk about, right?
I imagine it will be a lot more exciting even.
Yeah, because we'll probably have more info.
We probably will.
Um,
Yeah. Are we
yeah.
laying it on too thick? I can't tell. I'm wearing a banana costume. Like I have no like ability for subtlety at the moment.
I was gonna say, can you take anything we're saying seriously? We're
Yeah.
literally, um,
To be fair, I look pretty ridiculous without the banana costume. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think you clean up well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you know, people, if anybody follows me on Twitter, or like, I know, Charmer, you're my Facebook friend, like, I don't actually dress like the slob or the costume maniac that I appear to be. Most of the time. Most of the time I wear a sports coat and, you know, nice clothing, but
Yeah, I'm like
this is,
suit and tie during the office days, and then the minute I
yeah,
come home, it's like sweatpants.
right. This is where I let my hair down, so to speak. My peel down. Yeah. Get pumped, man.
Yeah, I am really excited. So what I want to know from
Yeah.
the chat, and I've seen a couple of people mention stuff, is, what do you, first, who do you think the card is? What do you think we're gonna get in terms of announcements? I want to know what you guys think about all of the, teaser stuff. What kind of speculation?
Yeah.
You guys have, because it's that time of year again, gang. It's exciting. We get to start not being so angry at current things, and we can start, looking ahead to the future and maybe less Crusader.
Yeah, get ready for a week's worth of Reddit posts about Unstoppable Rager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
this
again,
is good. This is good.
I was gonna say
By
that
By the way, kudos to you. The backdrop looks amazing right now.
Oh yeah. You noticed that it's a little bit different, huh?
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful piece. I felt like we needed to still shoehorn it in some more, but I also had to showcase your banana, so
yeah,
it's a nice harmony.
You know, unfortunately, this will be the end of your Twitch channel because showcasing my banana is
I was
direct
just
violation
thinking, like, maybe I should have worded that a little bit differently, but
yeah. You know, we were talking earlier this week about the auto censor feature on YouTube and how I got hit with it for the very first time. And I actually watched the video again, and to be fair, I actually, not only did I say shit, I also said fuck in that video, and I didn't even really realize it. But anyways, the very first time I got flagged, I have to wonder if there isn't some kind of like Skynet type situation trawling Twitch all the time for stuff.
Well, there is, at least on video stuff after the fact, because like if you're playing copyrighted material and you go to watch it on a VOD, a lot of times they'll mute the audio if it hits the auto detect.
Yeah.
So, there is at least something. I don't know if it triggers while live. I can only imagine that if they actually were like actively monitoring video and Twitch chat, that their machines would just explode, because I don't know if you've been in some Twitch chats, but they are horrific.
Dude, I have. It's like a cesspool of alt-right nonsense.
It's not even that. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I assume that's why they do it after the fact, is because it's probably just way too hard. I mean, Twitch is like, I don't know, like top 5 for bandwidth use now. Like, it's been growing pretty insane as a platform.
That's fair.
Monitoring it would be kind of a nightmare, but also an interesting challenge if
That's
you're
true.
hiring.
Is that the sort of work you'd want to do?
I mean, here's the thing, Justin. There's a reason that I have a million jobs. And it's because I want to do everything. Like, I'm just naturally curious. I love learning new things. I love solving problems. Life is a giant puzzle. Yeah, sure. I would do that. I would do a lot of things. The only thing that I would say, like, is my constant trump would be like game design, but unfortunately, all of my experience in that is both amateur and academic, so getting actual work in that road is a bit difficult. But that would be like my one. All right, give it up. I'll go, and it doesn't even matter. Like board games, card games, you name it. I love them all.
When I was in prison, we actually, like 5 of us, designed several Magic blocks, and then we would have tournaments with them and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've done everything from like your homemade Magic sets to homemade board games. Obviously, like your house rules, D&D, homebrew RPGs.
Sure.
Like I don't know if you remember, but when Google Wave was a thing,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was this platform that was meant for like sharing within a group. And it was like this beta thing, and it was short-lived. But I did with some buddies of mine. I was part of like an entire RPG campaign ran strictly through Google Wave.
Oh, cool.
Like I've done a lot of like I love games. Like that would be
Yeah.
my trump career. You know, that I would choose above other stuff. But outside of that, like yeah, I'll do anything. Like Monday, for example, I'm going to be traveling to a cybersecurity conference. Um, Tuesday, I'll be traveling to like an identity theft and fraud conference. Um, I do a lot because I can't say no. I like to learn.
Fair enough, man. Yeah, I have some more training next week too. Mostly what I do though is appear on panels that need like a ask a former prisoner kind of thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I get paid to appear at those things.
Well,
yeah.
Have you ever considered going in a banana costume and then if people talk to you afterwards, be like, dude, I'm a former prisoner?
Yeah. Like this is the face of trauma. No, no, I will say though that I asked my boss if I could come to work on Tuesday dressed as a bear, and he said yes. So I'm seriously considering it. I mostly have office work to do on Tuesday, and I don't want to see any clients obviously dressed as a bear. I feel like that is unethical, considering what I do. But I'm thinking that during the office hours, I'm going to hang around in bear costume.
So I got in trouble with chat earlier by assuming the gender of the Argonian.
Yeah.
So I cannot assume here. When you say dressed as a bear, do you mean of the grizzly type, of the polar type, or of the alternative lifestyle type?
No. So I will say it's of the grizzly type, and I intentionally never, either on the channel or in any real life part of my life, do like all the fictional characters I create are intentionally as far removed from reality as possible, so that I can't be accused of mocking anybody.
Yeah. No, I mean I understand. I only think of it because I got a buddy of mine that he would call himself a bear in that context. And
yeah, I understand.
He cracks me up. So every time I hear that term, I immediately think of him, and it kind of makes me smile.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Speaking of like fun costumes, though, I took the family to this event that was local today called How to Halloween.
Okay.
And think of it as like almost like a Comic-Con, but like Halloween themed. Like there's still people dressed like superheroes, but there was also like spooky people and, you know, haunted house and whatever. And there was a person there who was a furry, but he had rigged his helmet to make the eyes glow so that in the like dark of this conference center, he was like an extra spooky furry. And all I could think when I saw this, like his outfit was fantastic, and all I could think was like, I want his headpiece to be a Khajiit on stream. Like it was magnificent. Like the mouth moved, the eyes like followed you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like a Jim Henson production, and I was just like, I know that this thing had to have cost this lady or gentleman, I actually couldn't tell, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars to put together, but I was like, I want to be a Khajiit now because that is beautiful. It's glorious.
Well, you know, while we're sort of on this topic, I want to tease something else here. You mentioned the Khajiit, and I was thinking the Khajiit makeup for the Jalar character is by far the most time-intensive makeup to put on, right? The costume itself is time-consuming to put on, and the makeup just takes forever. Sandra and I have begun work on our most ambitious project yet for the channel. It's going to be a movie, 15, 20 minutes long, we're looking at with the storyboards we've got right now, where we are going to feature all the characters, and we're going to be out about in the Denver metro area, filming in a lot of locations with multiple characters. It's going to take weeks to film all this, and then obviously put together too. But so that's something to look forward to in the next month and a half, maybe. We've got a big story to tell.
So for the people local to Denver who are looking for, you know, a role as an extra, you know, where do they report for the casting call?
That's not a terrible idea. Sandra is busy Thursdays, so my couch will be available then. No, I'm just fucking. But you know what? That's a really good question. If you happen to live in the Denver metro area and you're interested in doing something like that, send me a message on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't live in the Denver metro area, but if I had the disposable income, I would fly out to be an extra in your video.
Absolutely. Yeah, this will be fun, man. And actually, we maybe we'll be able to have you film something where you're at, and we can put it in. I mean, because like this is a really ambitious project we got going on here, and
Dude, you just blew my mind. I don't know why I didn't
yeah,
think of that sooner. You can
yeah, I think we could probably
absolutely
work it
chop
out.
stuff together that is filmed separately.
Actually, you know what, man? We got to talk off camera because I
Yeah,
think
I know. You just blew my mind.
yeah, I blew my
Wow.
own mind. So yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll share more about that next week, guys.
It's almost like I forgot that there's this thing called video editing, even though I do it all the
Right,
time. Like,
right.
holy shit. All
Yeah,
right, well, more,
yeah.
more tease. It's teaser season,
It
everybody.
is. I mean, that's why I mentioned this. Like while we're just teasing stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so if you wanted to tease Justin about his
Hmm.
banana costume, you could do so.
Absolutely.
If you want to, again, let's talk speculation. What do you guys want to see? From whatever this content is that's announced. Because again, we don't even know what it is yet. We know that we're
Right.
getting something.
Maybe this Argonian's a jazz like singer, right? Like he's kind of like in this like pose, like Sha, you know what I mean? Like sings at night.
I got it. He
Yeah.
is this year's champion of Argonian Ninja Warrior.
Oh, I was gonna say Argonian Idol, but that makes sense too. We obviously go different directions when it comes to our entertainment.
Oh. I mean, I
like
made
it.
an American Idol joke on Twitter like a day or two ago, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah, that's all right, man.
But I was using it to mock another game that
Uh,
won't be named.
yeah. Oh, this pick is just some official card art, writes The Last Titan. It is.
It
This,
is. I will transition. Yep.
yeah.
Excuse me. Whoop. There it is in all its glory. I've also shared it on Reddit and on Twitter if you want to see it in its full size. It's really magnificent when you look at the full size art. Like the detail to that Argonian is solid. Yeah, it's exclusive art reveal. We know that it's of a known character, but we are in the dark on who it is. We are in the dark on like what the content is. We just know that it's coming in the future and likely related to whatever our end of the month announcement will be.
That's right.
Yeah, but
You
that
know,
pick is art.
while we're discussing new cards, we did get the new monthly reward card revealed, which is honestly a card I'm kind of excited about.
You are correct. I'm excited too. In fact,
Yeah.
I saw, like I usually do around this time of the month, I saw a lot of naysayers, and I quickly
Yeah.
put out my thoughts
Yes.
and feelings video,
Yes.
and I am pro the monthly
Yes.
card.
Yeah. Make no mistake about it. This is a very good card, and it is a card that will see play until it rotates out of whatever format it's in.
I mean, I would agree with that. I don't think so. I think that sometimes people get spoiled because of the power level of some cards, right? It's
Yeah.
not like an
His-
auto occlude, right? Well, I was
yeah.
gonna say like Sower of Revenge, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
standard. Hisgrove,
Yeah.
that's the standard. Those are auto include cards
Right.
in like those archetypes. Period.
Right.
This card is not necessarily auto include in everything strength, but in certain types of decks, in my opinion, strength based control decks, I think it is
Yes.
an auto include. It is very good in control.
I totally agree. I mean, this is just one of the slow trickle of strength-based control cards that we have gotten over the last year. That is just every time we get a card like this, I get super excited. I mean, like Stampede Sentinel is a card that motivated me to build Mid-Range Crusader all those months ago. This is the kind of card that I love to see because it makes what, in my opinion, is the most one-dimensional color that much more interesting.
Yeah, actually, I don't even think that statement is accurate anymore, if I'm being honest. It was during core set. I don't think you can say strength is the most one dimensional anymore.
What would you give that moniker to?
I would say that strength is the most situational, actually, now.
I can see that.
If it was me, I would say that endurance is a one-trick pony on its own. Endurance by itself as a standalone color kind of just does two things, and it does those two things well, but it just really kind of does two things, right?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Now that I think about it, I can see what you're saying.
Because, since the core set, strength, I mean, you're right, it's a trickle of control cards, right? We get things like Fell the Mighty and Garnag and all of these things that are that's why I say I think strength is the most situational of colors, but they rise to the occasion in those situations. Like,
you think strength is the color that would benefit most from sideboards?
ooh, that's a good question.
I was thinking about, like, it might be an interesting topic worth discussing at some point. Cards that don't see much play at all right now, but like would see play in every sideboard possible.
That's a good question. I think that strength might be a candidate there, but I don't. For me, I think it's probably still either like mage or assassin, because
Okay.
the reason I think that those are still the two classes that probably like benefit the most. So, and obviously the thing that is shared in there is intelligence, but I actually think that it's the other side of things. I think that agility and willpower both can go a lot of different ways, and I think that there's flexibility there.
Yeah.
Both of those classes have the ability to kind of go like all in on a prophecy build or all in on traditional builds. Both of those classes can play aggressive, they can play mid-range, they can play control. Like, they're very broad in what they do, whereas like strength does have some great situational cards like Garnag, like this new card that's coming. But like, let's be honest, if you're in any sort of format where you think you might want to run Garnag, chances are you're going to run him in your main deck anyway.
That's fair.
Like, for me, the cards that I do think red is situational, but if you're thinking about running them, then you're already running them because you're expecting that situation. With the exception, like, Fellow the Mighty might be the sort of thing I could see like in or out based on a matchup. But yeah, I don't know.
Fellow the Mighty comes to mind as a strength card for sure. I think the new card comes to mind as one that might make your main deck, might not sometimes, but would definitely make your sideboard. I think that honestly, I think that Stampede Sentinel as sort of like a way to break like if you're playing a control deck that's running red, I think Stampede Sentinel is a reasonable inclusion in your sideboard in some matches, but because it's gonna impede your victory progress. Like it doesn't. Let me put it like this: it's really good against like 3 cards.
Yeah. See, it's interesting you say that, because you know what my like tech choice would be for a control mirror if I was in strength?
Yeah.
It would be Jarl. Because in a control dogfight, like,
that's a fair card. Yeah.
You're not expecting your opponent to like start kind of whacking you, and like the ability to put something on the board and draw 2 cards, like that would be so good in a control mirror. Like, those are the kinds of cards that I think are like your sideboard worthy stuff.
You know what, man? Like, that's almost a good, compelling argument for never having sideboards as a tournament format. Like Triumph, it's easy to forget if you've only been playing for a few months, like how incredibly frustrating it can be to play against Triumphant Jarl sometimes.
Yeah. So we do get some people talking in chat, and they're saying, you know, the new monthly card, we have Control Battle Mage, Rage Archer, Doomcrag Warrior, and this is all stuff that Control Crusaders mentioned. This is all stuff I was saying in my video. It's just, it's really good because it does a lot of the things you want it to do. Like, it's easy to look at the stats and be dismissive and get hung up on those. But it's almost always against aggressive decks going to be some form of 2-for-1. Yeah. And even against like mid-range decks, it's oftentimes enabling your other stuff, right? Enabling your Leaf Lurkers, enabling your Doomcrag. Even in just solo red, if you play Skaven on curve and it, you know, was a 2/2 or an X2 creature, this guy comes down and finishes that creature off. It can still go face, like 1 damage does sometimes matter.
The Elena Banach dilemma.
Yeah. So,
you know, honestly, I need to do some testing with it, but I don't even mind it in some like theoretical iterations of Orcs. I think in certain metas, it is better than other cards in Orcs.
I would say certain metas. Against a token meta, I think it's fine, because the ability to play it, block the creature, and blow up, let's say, Northwind Outpost, that's a huge tempo play, right? Yeah. But against, like, what I would consider a well-rounded meta or a more traditional meta, I don't think I would personally run it in Orcs.
Right. I agree. I would run it in my tournaments Orcs deck.
Yeah, I could see that maybe.
Yeah. Both for the surprise factor and, well, let's face it, I'm not great at picking tournament lineups, but but also because I would want my deck to have a little flexibility. pull off those 5% wins.
See, for me, I was thinking that you were gonna run it in your tournament deck because, well, I think it would depend on the format, right? If it's the bring 4 decks and one of them's banned, you can ban certain matchups to force others, and then just make sure that it's a favorable one where that card benefits you, right? Like, being able to kind of control or know what you're playing against obviously increases the value of that card significantly.
Right. And I think that giving the bane of aggressive decks, and I include orcs among these, in a tournament setting is frequently a deck that you've recently gotten sweet on, which is what's it called?
Support Mage.
Support Mage,
I love that deck now. I don't know why I never tried it sooner. I've been having so much fun this week playing that deck.
Yeah, and I mean, it's only 3 cards out of 50, but this card could make the difference, because I think that deck wins some of its aggro matches on the margins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're in a meta where Support Mage is being very unruly, that card is suddenly a nightmare in Mid-Range Warrior. Because then Mid-Range Warrior offers you Belligerent Giant, Shadowfen Priest, and that card.
Yeah.
That would just kind of win that match for you.
Absolutely. I mean, that Mid-Range Warrior, the hypothetical Mid-Range Warrior deck, especially if you're not for some reason going Rage, although you probably should, that's a deck that can win with whatever's left.
Yeah.
A 3/3 guard will serve a purpose. I mean, it'll do the job.
Yeah, I've seen a few Mid-Range Warriors popping up again recently, so...
Good, I've always liked the deck. Always been a fan.
So...
Yeah. Good times.
I think we should... We're at about that hour mark where we typically switch to the full, interactive part. You think we should transition there?
Let's rock and roll, man.
We're still definitely gonna take questions and speculation about new stuff. But at this point, we usually just say, "Hey, ask questions. If you want to know what Justin's doing for Halloween, great. I can tell you what I'm doing for Halloween. It's not exciting though.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to talk about? It's the interactive podcast. Somebody on Reddit, by the way, pointed out that is a goddamn big tail, and it is a really big tail.
It's actually funny somebody mentioned that, because when I made the Godzuki joke, the tail was what made me think of it. I looked at that tail and I was like, that dude looks like Godzilla. Well, he's more like a Godzuki, and then that was my inner monologue.
That's nice. Huh. Godzuki.
He is well endowed below the waist, that Argonian.
You might say that he doesn't have to worry about reptile dysfunction.
Oh.
I feel like I made that joke the last 3 podcasts.
I mean, if you didn't, then shame on you, because it's fantastic.
I appreciate it.
It needs to come every time.
I'm Googling images of Godzuki, actually, right now.
So there's 2 types of Godzuki. There's the one from the movies, who basically is like this tiny, cute, whatever, weird face. But then there's also from the cartoon. I don't know if you remember the Godzilla cartoon, but I adored it. I still know the entire opening theme song that they would sing.
Nice. You should sing it right now, actually.
I mean, I guess I have to now, right? It's
yes.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla, dun, 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 Godzilla, dun, dun,
Shit, dude.
Godzilla, dun, 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 and Godzuki.
Oh my
god. Godzilla. That's
Holy
how it opens
shit.
every time. Except it's not tone deaf. It doesn't sound like somebody's dying in a basement.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's how it goes.
So awful.
My singing or my jokes? I'm gonna go with both.
I mean, what, bro? Where to begin?
Oh my god! So my wife in chat right now just said, "Laugh out loud. I can hear you in the living room." Awesome.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm not dressed like a banana, so at least I can have some dignity, self-respect. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man, but being shameless is like part of my charm.
What I just did is way worse than the banana costume.
Yeah, I have never sung on camera. It's true.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a band though. I was in a band once.
Yeah.
Actually, for several years. Yeah. I mean, look, for a while I thought I was like a talented artist until I realized that I was just a junkie.
Yeah, you were like the next Stone Temple Pilots, but without talent.
Right. It's easy to make that mistake. It's really easy to make that mistake. I was living the rock star lifestyle with none of the rock and roll.
It's always great when your wife is in the chat and says he has a voice of something terrible.
Yeah. I'd actually rather have Godzuki singing for me right now.
I mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You know, I was also in band. Well, I mean, I was in the band room. I was an honorary band member at my high school because I spent so much time in there. But
bro, this is getting lamer and lamer every time you open your mouth.
Yeah, no, it was just because like the band teacher honestly kind of didn't care what happened.
Yeah.
And I didn't like going to my 4th hour. So
yeah.
I just went to band.
Good times.
And yeah.
I used to sell pot to this guy who was a teacher at my high school, and he was also my driver's ed instructor, and I used to hang around his classroom.
I once was threatened with a suspension if I didn't stop selling candy, specifically crybabies, on my school bus in the 4th grade because I was told that it is something akin to drug dealing and that it was not allowed on the school bus because I was like buying the big buckets and selling them for $0.25.
Oh my god.
My wife said I was in it for the girls. My wife knows me so well. Yeah, of course I was down at that band room for the girls.
That's why I was in a band. Yeah. Absolutely. I had no like illusions of artistic integrity or changing the world with art or anything like that.
There's not a human being on the planet that picked up an instrument because they love music.
No, I mean, I believe there probably is not. At least no men.
Yeah, no, like, you know, bards of ancient yore were like, I'm not that purty in the face, but I can tickle these strings.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's a reason that I developed a personality. Like I saw what I was working with, and I was like, well, all right. Looks like I got to learn how to be interesting.
Yeah, I mine was either get rich or get a personality, and I did neither. I actually don't know.
Oh, no. You got a great personality. Also, you're really good looking. I mean, like.
No, now I wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like you see the wedding photos of like me and my wife, and legitimately, you would probably think like I'm the brother handing her off. Like she is gorgeous in our wedding like photos, and I
agree she is
like a sweaty hot mess in those things.
That's all right. That's all right, man.
Oh,
that's all right.
I locked it down before I lost the weight.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that's a good move. That's a good move. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I put on weight after I got sober. Like, not like a ton, but I mean, like, I'm certainly heavier than I should be.
Well, yeah, but now you remember to eat.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I had my medical files, like my doctor's files, you know, because I'm diabetic, right? So, like, even when I was using, like, I still saw an endocrinologist at least often enough to get insulin. Because, like, you know, I wanted to live long enough to keep getting high. So, anyway, I had after I got out of prison, I had my endocrinologist from where I used to live send my records to my new doctor. You know, does some vitals on me and stuff. He's like, well, you know, you put on like 45 pounds. He's like, but you're actually like in the best shape of your life. I was like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way that it goes, right?
Yeah. Shit, your wife says you made her fat.
With kids, don't just leave it hanging. Somebody's going to be listening to this podcast later and try to blame me for fattening my wife. I'm like the witch in Hansel and Gretel. I make her bigger so that I can eat her later. I need one of those soundboards.
We do need a soundboard. That'd be pretty sweet.
I need to bring it back.
Welcome to Charmer and Justin in the morning. Yeah, that'd be great.
Apparently, I don't need a soundboard. I just need a.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. Give me a sound effect.
I can't. You heard me sing. I'm useless for this. There's a reason I used a soundboard, because it's not coming out of me.
Fair enough. Just maybe like just like one auga.
Auga.
We have really gone off the rails tonight.
Yeah, I know. It's the banana costume, and it's teaser season, man. I'm just giddy with joy. So.
Yeah, I understand. I'm excited, and like people want to say like, oh, we know more. Like, I mean, of course we know more, but there's some cool shit coming up. Not today, unfortunately.
I'm getting eyes from the wife. I don't know why.
Are you being bad?
I guess. I don't know.
I believe it.
I mean, I am talking to strange people on the internet in banana costumes. If this isn't a deviant lifestyle, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dropper Fawn 535 writes, so this is the Lizard Tarzan podcast. We even have the banana. Yeah, absolutely, man. This is the Lizard podcast. The Lizard Tarzan podcast. Yeah.
In his defense, the Argonian does kind of look like Tarzan.
He does. I like it.
So,
we don't have any questions tonight, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. I can only assume that people are equally as excited as we are, and that their minds are blown.
Maybe we gave a bunch of people they had an aneurysm, and now they can't type.
Trevor Fine also says that Reddit thinks there is a Dwemer expansion coming.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's not wrong. I have seen that as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we led with the first teaser. But to counter that, I would say, one, obviously the Argonian means not all Dwemer. And two, let's just talk about some of the other things that Reddit thinks. This is just like me scrolling down the news section. Yeah, we're just gonna go.
Yeah, let's do this.
CVH streaming and content disabled until further notice. That's interesting.
Where does it say that?
Literally, the post above ours for the reveal. There's also, why do y'all talk so much shit? There's this game is rigged. There is debating the viability of Marak. He seems a bit overhyped. Yeah, I mean, so I'm sure Reddit is spot on with the Dwemer thing. They're like never wrong. Here is my question with a question mark. Fire Drake says, I love everything about what you just did there. So
yeah. I'm sorry, I was reading the CVH thing.
And yeah. So I mean, I guess.
Yeah, look, Reddit is. So I first got onto Reddit during closed beta, or maybe open beta. I don't know. Because I'd never heard of it before. I'm kind of a Luddite. And now I use Reddit for things other than Elder Scrolls Legends, but also Elder Scrolls Legends still.
So before before people run wild, just so you know, the CVH thing was not posted actually by CVH, just so we're clear.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess even further illustrates my...
It's just a quality shit post.
My viability of... like what Reddit knows. Yeah, it's not an actual post by CVH. If you guys like CVH, don't panic. It's written as if it's CVH and that he's leaving because of lack of competitive scene. But it's not.
That is pretty
it's not actually CVH. So if you're a CVH fan, don't panic. He's still around.
Yeah. All right. That is pretty funny.
Yeah, but again, that better illustrates exactly what I'm saying. So like, I'm sure Reddit does think there's a Dwemer expansion, but Reddit thinks a lot of things. Not that I don't love the Reddit community. I'm there all the time. I participate. But yeah, like the point is we don't know, but it's fun to speculate.
Yeah, it is.
It is really fun to speculate.
What's kind of cool about this expansion too is that we had like the. So we had the the data mining thing or whatever, So like there were rumors about Skyrim back in January, right? And I'm not gonna lie, when I was at the Direwolf office, I may have seen some art, but that was a long time ago. And this is the first time I don't know anything. You know what I mean? We don't know anything.
Can you even talk about the fact that you saw art? Didn't you sign an NDA?
Look, man,
a gag order.
What is art? Art could be any number of things.
Art is anything to anyone. It's about what it means to you and how you
Yeah.
interpret it.
It's sun shining on a window. It's a smiling child on a bright day.
Just a lazy gamer asks, do we have any confirmation whether this is going to be a story or PAX? We do not. All we know is that there's going to be an announcement before the end of the month, which is what everybody knows. That's what Bethesda said.
Yeah.
We know that this piece of art will be from future content, but they did not tell us what that content would be.
Right.
They did not give us anything other than that this is a known character that's in the art, but they didn't even say if this is like the art of that character's card or something else.
Right.
This might not even be a playable card. Ooh, speculation, right? Let's just say it is a story mode. This could be something specific to the story, right?
Yeah.
Like we have cards in Follow the Dark Brotherhood that are not in the game but
That's
are playable
true.
for the story mode.
Shit, this could be a new avatar.
Yeah, because again, like we just know it's art from future content. There's not even a guarantee it's a card.
I'd pay for some kind of bundle that included this art as an avatar.
I mean, he's got a big tail.
Yeah. Yeah, and I gotta compensate for my small tail.
Well, I mean, you just need to balance out your big handle you got there, bro Nana.
What can I say?
but yeah, so as far as like the actual content goes, Bethesda was kind enough to provide us with this art, but they gave us no context. We don't even know when the announcement is coming. We just know that it's before the end of the month. So that's Monday or Tuesday in all likelihood.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Legends, I would...
let's put the art back up again.
I would
to show it off even more.
I would pay a lot of attention to the Reddit and the Twitter for Legends on Monday and Tuesday. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, actually, just so again, this isn't giving anything away because we don't know. But if you're new to the game or it's been a while and you don't remember what it's like, my advice would be to pay attention to pretty much Reddit and the social media outlets in general, probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks going forward.
Yeah.
Because what's happened pretty much every other time is that they usually do like some sort of an announcement, and then there's usually like a slow trickle of reveals that then start to like cascade further and further and further. Yes. So like in the past, both for Follow the Dark Brotherhood and Heroes of Skyrim, they did like an announcement. Then you got like a week or two where there was like, one, maybe two, like one card reveal, like maybe every 1 or 2 days. And then they slowly ramp up card reveals. And then usually somewhere between 1 and 2 days before whatever the official launch date is of said content, then they do like this invite thing where they invite people, usually content creators, to showcase the new stuff. So for Madhouse, for Follow the Dark Brotherhood, and for Heroes of Skyrim, Justin and I, for example, got to play on like development servers so that we could show you, Chaos Arena early. We got to show you Act 1 of Follow the Dark Brotherhood. We got to play games with Skyrim cards, all that stuff. As we're hitting teaser season and we know we're going to get some sort of announcement, I would expect that stuff in the near future. So just keep your eye out.
Something we should mention too about next week's schedule is that if you're a fan of this podcast, you should tune in next Thursday for a special Thursday edition of the podcast.
Yes, that is correct. Justin is a hardworking man.
Yes, I am.
He's been promoted twice recently, and
I look like I do work really hard.
Started grad school. But he's got something coming up, so we're going to do the podcast on Thursday as opposed to Friday next week. At some point, we'll get back to our normal Friday schedule, but very specifically, it will be Thursday of next week, and we'll do the normal like tweet reminders, things like that. So if you're not following Justin and I on at least Twitter, I would say do that.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll have had the announcement by then because the month will have rolled over, right? So
that's right.
We'll have plenty to talk about. And it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, not only has this been a very mentally challenging podcast because of the reveal hype, not only has this been a very mentally challenging podcast because of the teaser that we got for the Dwemer.
Yes.
Not only has it been mentally challenging because, let's face it, you're in a giant banana costume,
That's true. This
but
is a full
for
body banana costume, by the way. Like, you can't see it all, but yeah.
but for like the last maybe 10 or 15 minutes, my wife off camera is basically twerking and or removing clothes. So it's
Oh shit, dude.
really hard for me
All
to
right.
not like
I
focus.
understand, man.
Like
No, you could
like
have just stopped right
literally.
there. It's really hard, bro. I understand.
So if I feel a little out of it, if it feels like I'm mailing in this podcast, I apologize, everybody. I'm
No,
legitimately excited.
no. You know what? I think this might be a good point to just to end this episode. Say tune in next Thursday. Tune in next Thursday for a very special Thursday edition of the podcast that I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah,
I think we can say that, right?
yeah, I think we will bring our A game.
Yes. We might bring some costume game.
Mo,
Mm-hmm. We might.
we might.
Yeah.
Also, pay attention to Justin's channel because, as he said, he's got a mini movie coming soon.
Yeah, and if you live in the Denver metro area, send me a message on Twitter if you want to be involved in making a stupid movie. And then you'll be disappointed when you realize that I'm fatter and shorter in real life than you think I am.
Whatever, you're taller than I am.
No, I
So-
mean I am. I'm actually pretty tall, but
Yeah.
like I'm definitely fatter.
That's a great question. We don't know if it's Swims at Night. They just told us that it's a known character. They did not tell us who the character was and whether or not this art was anything other than in future content.
Right.
So,
It might
great
I
question.
mean, we might be getting like young Indiana Jones versions of some of our favorite characters.
Yeah, could be that. I mean, that's kind of the
Mhm.
beauty of the Legends lore is that it doesn't take place in any particular timeline, so they can bounce around and they could do,
Right.
young versions, old versions. They could have like live versions of a card and then a ghost
Mm-hmm.
version.
How great would it be when we finally get a Maik the Liar card if there was 2 cards named Maik the Liar that did completely different things?
I'll be honest. I want a Maik the Liar version from every
Yeah.
game he's ever appeared in.
I
want him.
I like
I
it.
want him in different attributes. I want him with
Mhm.
different abilities. Like that to me
Yeah.
is the essence
I like
of
that.
Maik.
How about an expansion, a mini expansion, 10 cards, 10 class cards, all Maik the Liars.
Oh, Shannara says he took my Time to Fight Crusader on the ladder and he climbed to top 40 with it. It's a great deck.
Okay.
Just wanted to let me know. Well, thanks, mate.
Yeah,
I'm not top
congratulations.
40, but I've also not, with all the personal stuff I had going on, not played a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I've only played 101 total games this month, which is the lowest I've ever played since closed beta. So,
Yeah, I've played about 25 and I'm still ranked 9.
but I am proud to say that I've got a 79% win rate with Time to Fight, so I'm sure it's doing well for you.
Nice. Oh, hold on, there's more Reddit drama.
Oh, yeah, there's just more people impersonating CVH, which is funny.
I am the real CVH.
Yeah. All right, so when we break for the podcast, I need to go make a post that says, "Would the real CVH please stand up?"
Yeah. Oh my god, let's both make posts that say I am CVH.
No, I'm Spartacus.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, hey, good show tonight, man.
Yeah, no, this was great. I'm
Yep.
just really excited for teaser season.
Me too.
And clearly, you and I need to talk about movies and other things going forward, and everyone else
Yes.
should tune in next
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes, everybody should definitely tune in next Thursday. Tell your friends.
And just as a quick note, just like every other podcast night, I am going to still stream after this. I'll take like a short break after we wrap up the podcast here, but I will be playing some games tonight. So, like, if you want to stick around, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too.
Rock on.
So,
See you all on the ladder.
yeah, see you on the ladder.